It is 6:34 on September 22nd, 2016, the regular meeting for the September for the Park District Board of Commissioners. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Robbins?
Here.
Commissioner Meline?
Here.
Commissioner Blue?
Present.
Commissioner Kessler?
Here.
President Dorhoeffer?
Here, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on the agenda tonight is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items tonight included in the omnibus agenda are the minutes of the regular board meeting dated August 25th, 2016, and the payables less Granger and payroll through September 22nd, 2016, in the amount of $1,935,274.44. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes, next item on the agenda is the welcome to visitors and guests. Being as we are alone in here tonight, we will move on to the financial reports for the period ending August 31st, 2016. Marla, any changes to the financial reports? They're on file? Very good. Next item on the agenda is reports and communication. Executive Director Jeff Hoosier. Jeff?
Thank you. Just a few updates on a lot of projects going on within the district. The Sullivan Community Center, we meet every day just about, and things are progressing. I think as I mentioned to the board, I think most of you are interested in knowing with the preschool wing, and it looks like that's going to be early December, and we're working with the contractor now to continue to advance the rest of the building at the same time. So our game plan would be to just make sure it's completed before the holiday break, and then staff will spend time getting that area moved in, and so when people come back from the holiday break, they'll be in the new wing. I want to especially thank the library for their assistance today. We had the temporary entrance we've been using had to be shut down because they had to run some stormwater piping right through that entrance, and so they let us use their parking lot, and it's just worked out really nicely. We brought all our patrons in off the far northwest corner of the building. Deer Path Park, ball fields are just about completed. We got some roofs that got to go on the dugouts. We've got a couple more benches that got to go in. Batting cage should be completed by next week, and then we'll get some of the ball field. We got mix coming in, some new mix that we're going to use to just basically clean them up as best we can. We've got the new screen netting up on ball field 4. All of the all the paving work, asphalt and concrete work for accessibility purposes to the players area and the spectators areas are all completed. Kids Castle, the restroom was delivered today, and so we're just waiting on some permitting from Lake County. we according to James, he thinks that probably by midweek next week that we should be ready to get that amenity activated. The tennis courts, the surface is down. We're letting that cure for a couple more days. With this recent rain we had yesterday, the good news was just walking the site, we had no puddles, no bird baths on it, so that's a nice sign. So we expect the posts, the tennis court posts, and the fencing to go up next week, and then once that'll take about a week, and then the following week we'll color code it. So we are looking at about October 6th or 7th that the courts should be up and running. Same time, most of the demolition from just a mechanical and electrical perspective for FAC has been completed. We're hoping tomorrow that they're going to try and pull that old sand filter out of there, so that'll be interesting to see if that happens. But that project's moving along pretty well. You got the SRA resolution before you this evening. I'm sure Tom will touch on a lot of the local events. And then finally, just, we do have, for the public's notification, we do have 2 6-year seats for board candidacy in the spring, in the April election. People can contact my office, or they can stop in anytime during our office hours of 8:30 to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, if they're interested in picking up packets. That would conclude my report. Actually, I'm going to just touch on James a couple things, if you don't mind, Dave.
Nope, please.
Torrey Pines playground should be finished early next week, he indicates. Seal coating, a lot of seal coating in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The Hawthorne Club path is going to be seal coated. The parking lots at Hartman Park, and then the paths from Route 45, which is Garvanian Park, all the way north through Warrington. We're going to do that as well as both lots at Deer Path, he indicates. So we've got two vendors that are going to perform that. Rest of the stuff I kind of filled you in on. They're also working on a lot of restoration of our park lights. So that would be it for James and myself.
Any questions for Jeff and/or James? Very good. Next item on the agenda is HR Superintendent, Finance Superintendent, Marla Pennell. Not G. Pen.
Or Chico.
Sorry.
I will answer to either.
Oh. Marla D.
Or MD, as my new initials are. Okay, I'm just going to give you a few personnel highlights. I am very sorry to say that Deidre Colbert is going to be leaving us soon. She's turned in her retirement. I wanted you to know in advance, so in case you get a chance to see her before then, we will be having a luncheon to celebrate her retirement, so you will receive that information. But she has worked for us for 27 years. We were just trying to decide if Gail or Dira was our longest standing full-time. But
Gail, I don't think.
Gail did part-time for some time, so we're not sure, but.
It's Dira.
It's Dira.
It's Dira.
Dira, oh, you would know, yes.
For now.
Frank Salemi will also be leaving us, and he has also worked for the district for a very long time because he started in high school. But he is moving on to hopefully move abroad, so we wish him luck. And we have
swear I thought
hired
he slipped
Priscilla
in the bag.
Valdez to replace Frank. She'll be starting October 3rd, and she has an excellent background after working. The Galter Life Center is a fitness center for people with medical issues, and she's worked there for over 15 years, and also works at the Illinois Secretary of State's office, which I think if anyone can do that, they have some good customer service skills. So we look forward to her starting on October 3rd. Lots of personnel changes these last few months. That's all right now, unless anyone has a question.
Any questions for Marla? Very good. Tom, Recreation Superintendent, Tom Ritter.
Good evening. Our adult fall softball leagues began play at the end of August, and pleased to say after, I want to say it was 3 years without a co-ed league, we have a co-ed softball league this fall. Always goes in the summer, but fall has been all men's leagues. So we had 12 men's teams last year, we have 13 this year, and we have 4 co-rec teams. So nice to see a little growth in that fall sport. Some statistics for childcare over at the Little Learners Childcare, I should say, at Lakeview Fitness Center. We currently have about 82, almost 83% capacity in the facility, which is consistent with where we were at this point the previous 2 years. And just by projecting where we have some new babies that have been born but aren't ready to come over yet, things of that nature, some siblings, we're anticipating having about 89% capacity by the middle of October. And by Thanksgiving, we should be around 92%. And if that holds true, that would probably be that is the highest we will have been since we took over that facility a few years ago. So nice to see some steady, consistent enrollment. And when you read this, I refer to these as FTEs, full-time equivalents. And just to clarify, if someone goes to childcare 3 days a week, it's 3 out of 5 days, that's 0.6. It's not 0.6 of a child, it's 0.6 days. So 78 is our capacity, so when we say we're going to have 71.6, there's very few openings on certain days of certain age groups, so it gets hard to ever get to 100%. It's very difficult to do that. So we're at a very, very good capacity right now. Our youth basketball leagues, one of our larger programs, registration, we will take it beyond October 16th, but beyond that date, there's a late fee of $50. So if anyone's thinking basketball, encourage you to put October 16th on your calendar to keep the costs down. October 22nd is a Saturday. You will be notified if you're registered a more specific time, but that date is when we have skill day. So we can assess the kids' abilities and try and create balanced teams. Games don't start until mid-December. Practices start immediately after Thanksgiving. Couple special events in October: trucks, trunks, and treats, always a mouthful, and literally a lot of candy given out. That is an event held in the parking lot at the Family Aquatic Center. We usually have somewhere between 10 and 15 vendors that come and bring trucks or unique vehicles for the kids to climb into, climb around, and there's a representative there giving out candy. So kids are encouraged to dress up, test out their Halloween costumes a few weeks early, get some candy, see some new nice vehicles. We provide free hay rides that day in the pool circle drive. We have the bounce house, so the event's only $3. You can register in advance or you can register that day. We usually end up with around 500 people if you count kids and parents. So that is Saturday, October 8th from 11 to 1. And 3 weeks later, our annual Fall Fest is Friday, October 28th this year, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Sullivan Center. Same general format, same activities, but we have to be a little creative this year with the construction at the Sullivan Center. A normal year, we have 700 to 800 people. Last year, we were very pleasantly surprised to reach 1,000 people that came. But with the construction, we're going to be a little conservative. We're putting the max at 600. Doesn't mean we won't expand that as we get closer. We just want to start off a little conservative and see where the progress is with the facility. Maybe we will expand it. We shall see. I guess my main point is if you are really adamant about going, I would encourage you to get your tickets sooner than later because it will hit that 600 point most definitely. Okay? Like I said, we'll do our best to monitor progress on the facility. Last year about this time, I think I mentioned we were trying to reinitiate a youth theater program. It's one of those activities I'm always kind of down on because we try it and it tends to not succeed. It's a tough program to go. We felt really good about the vendor we met with last year. Motivated us a lot to get this program going, and it's gone every season since. So it's been a great addition to our, if you want to call it, curriculum of activities. This fall, we have 28 kids signed up to perform in Alice in Wonderland. 17 of those kids are 2nd through 6th graders, and 11 of them are pre-K through 1st grade. So they're in the Sullivan Center Community Room every Wednesday, and on December 10th, it will culminate with a performance on the stage. So nice to see theater getting stronger here at the Park District. And finally, one more event. Last year, we started our inaugural New Year's Eve family party, and it sold out with 250 people. It was a great event. We're doing it again. DJ, pizza, ice cream, dancing, open gym, crafts, a little bit of everything. And what's nice about it is it's from 4 to 6:30. We do the countdown at 6 o'clock, so if people want to go out for that night, they can have this family time together, go home and get a sitter, and still have the night to yourself. So it's a really nice event. So we're looking forward to doing that second time around. And that's my report unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Tom? Very good. Next is the Marketing Communications Manager, Cheryl Buman.
Nice.
Good evening.
Got them.
I'm getting there. 1 out of 2.
It's been a while now, so I think we're getting there. The 2017 winter brochure is currently being created. It's scheduled to be mailed the week of November 21st. We have all of our newsletters have gone out for the beginning of the school year. Our Park Pointers, our fall issue, is distributed to all the elementary schools in Hawthorne District 73. We also did the bilingual Spanish/English for our after-school enrichment program. That's been sent to the schools, and that just started last week, those programs. Our Park Paths, which is our community newsletter that people subscribe to, we've had 2 issues go out in September, about 2 weeks apart, and I will continue that. And also, I believe we added another one for our wellness challenge for our Lakeview Fitness. So, as needed for Lakeview also, will be going out. Our social media has really taken off thanks to our new marketing coordinator. She's doing a fabulous job. Almost daily, she posts on Facebook, and we've also been promoting programs. We did our first paid to promote that 100 Days Challenge for Lakeview Fitness. That does go through the 30th, so I don't have the statistics quite yet of the end of it, but I believe Mark mentioned earlier this week that over 400 people have signed up for it, and a lot of them are new people. It's not a membership, it's a program, but social media has really helped with that, so we'll continue to do programs for that. They do have another, Lakeview has another promotion coming up in October, and we are going to do mostly all digital ads for that too, just to gauge how that goes. We're also going to send out a survey to all of the people who signed up for the 100 Days Challenge first week of October, just to ask them how they heard about it. So then we can gauge a little bit more if they heard about it through social media, print media, newspaper, etc. So we're working on that continually with many programs. And really, that is it for this month. Any questions from anybody?
Any questions for Cheryl? This is flying by. Commissioner and committee reports? We have none at this time. Board correspondence? We have none at this time. New business, no unfinished business. New business, SRA accessibility resolution. Could I have a motion to approve the SRA CLC resolution 02-16?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Baloo?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the Conduct Ordinance, Section 1.02. Could I have a motion to approve a revision to the Conduct Ordinance, Section 1.02, to the following? Model aircraft means any unmanned aircraft that is capable of sustained flight in the atmosphere, including drones of any kind. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Well, actually, I have a question. So is that standard language for park districts? I assume the lawyer looked at this. This is kind of,
Yeah, it's really become more apparent with the use of drones in open space, and so Paderma kind of put an all-call out. We've been working with the village, actually. It's been getting a lot of people out at the VHAC, so they used our ordinance that they adopted. We just did not have the word drone specifically in our ordinance, so that's what this new amendment to the ordinance is, just adding the word drone into the aircraft classification. So that's really all it prohibits. Now, there are some new things with the drones too, like the company we hired a few years ago that did our parks. We inquired with them to do some of our events, and they won't film now whenever there's live bodies, if you will, apparent, and that's becoming pretty consistent with other entities. What we found is they're just not gonna film with people in any kind of venue. So we did reach out to Will Rockwell, who's a staff member with the Village of Vernon Hills, who has his license and certifications and everything. He wasn't insured at this point, so he does it more as a hobby. But if you go on the village's website, he's done some work with the village now that they've had him do, filming some open properties that they're looking to get people to support. But ideally, I'd like to get some filming of some of our large events. We just kind of need to find that niche, somebody that would, be willing to do that.
or is there another way
Or-
to film, set a camera up high or do something?
Yeah, I don't know.
from a
We haven't really
distance?
talked beyond that about, in terms of the drone aspect of it. It just, when you look at our website, I think we were pretty instrumental out of the gate, and a lot of people followed that. And so now, when you look at some of the newer, versions of what some districts have done, it's, there's people involved. And a lot of our footage is just naked footage of our parks. Not that it looks bad, but anyways, that's kind of getting off your question,
Right.
I know, but
Okay.
hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes. Next is the W.W. Granger invoice payable. Thank you again. We have none. Next item is Commissioner comments. Commissioner Blue.
None this month.
Commissioner Meline?
None.
Commissioner Robbins?
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Kessler?
Nothing.
I have nothing as well. With that, we're going to go to item 10, closed session under Section 2C21 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act for the purpose of discussing the semi-annual review, approval, and/or release of closed session minutes, and the destruction of audio tapes, and Section 2C6, setting a price for sale or lease of property owned by the district. Could I have a motion to go into closed session for the semi-annual review, approval of closed session minutes, destruction of audio tapes pursuant to 2C21 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, as well as under Section 2C6, setting a price for sale and/or lease of property owned by the Park District?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes, we are adjourned to closed session.
Okay, we're right across the hall.